The breast implant industry saw victory last month as the FDA announced stronger warnings and restrictions for implant manufacturers. While advocates say the news is a step in the right direction, the question becomes, is it enough? Our Natalie Spala spoke with a local woman who says no.
60 years. That is how long some breast implant patients have been asking for tougher regulations from the FDA. It's something Maria Gamitro says she wishes was in place when she underwent surgery back in 2014.
If I knew then what I know now, I probably would have chosen not to have the breast implants placed into my body.
It was a well thought out plan. Maria Gamitro says she did her research and chose the best doctor.
He had basically told me that these were the new, latest and greatest FDA approved breast implants. And any questions I had from issues from the 1990s about breast implants, well, they fixed all that.
Or so they thought. Just 6 months post-op, Gamitro knew something wasn't right. I
went to my follow-ups and it was always, you look great. And I just thought, I don't feel great. And I didn't know how to equate the two.
It wasn't until she came across a social media post about breast implant illness, or BII, something doctors never put on her radar as a potential risk.
Nothing to look out for as far as these, what we consider now systemic symptoms of breast implants, otherwise known as breast implant illness.
It's now her why she had her implants removed, why she founded Breast Implant Safety Alliance in 2019, and why she says the FDA's new regulations are not enough.
They're saying that they're giving patients an opportunity to sign an informed consent checklist. I would like to see that become mandatory.
The new safety requirements include restrictions on the sale and distribution of implants, also new labeling, including a boxed warning, something the FDA proposed as a voluntary measure in 2019. Now it'll be a legal requirement for leading manufacturers, Johnson & Johnson and Allergan. I called and emailed both for their take on these new requirements.
I think if COVID has taught us everything is that nothing is one size fits all. We need to make sure that patients are always aware what's implanted into their bodies.
Tidal flooding caused problems across Lowcountry again today. Here's a look at what a portion of Highway 17 looks like. This was just as you come over the bridge from Charleston into West Ashley, right there by that round Holiday Inn. It had traffic backed up around lunchtime. And it was a similar story over in Haygood Avenue. Flooding shut down a portion of that road along with many others downtown today. In a story that you'll only see on ABC News 4, our Amy Russo tonight has been following the situation there for about a week now. And Amy, we've heard city leaders acknowledge problem spots like this. So what's the solution?
Yeah, hey there. Good evening, Tessa. So that really is the big question. Local leaders, they can't seem to agree on a resolution for this flooding problem that is happening right here off of Haygood Avenue. So much so that the West Edge Foundation is actually in an ongoing legal battle with the Friends of Gadsden Creek, which is now putting a permanent fix in limbo. Not an unusual sight for Haygood Avenue.
This is now the 8th day in a row that this has been like this.
But no less of a problem. We're talking about tidal flooding from the Ashley River.
So we have to come up with a solution.
The West Edge Foundation got a permit for a $15 million solution. It includes capping a portion of Gadsden Creek.
The only way to stop tidal flooding is to stop the tide from coming in. Saving the creek means keeping this kind of situation forever.
But it's been put on pause for at least a year after the Friends of Gadsden Creek sued the West Edge Foundation.
The permit allows West Edge to fill in and excavate almost 4 acres of critical area tidelands right downtown. We contend that this permit was issued in violation of several regulatory and policy considerations that DHEC should have adhered to and did not.
Cunningham believes there are ways to mitigate flooding without losing the creek.
The city could put something on the outfall at Lockwood, where Gadsden Creek enters, that could cut off the flood waters from reaching beyond a certain point.
Both parties agree a resolution needs to happen sooner than later.
Was talking to a resident yesterday who was trying to get her mother, who's handicapped, out of her unit to her car, and she couldn't get her car in front of the unit to get her mother out, to take her where she needed to go.
The residents down in the Gadsden Green area are dealing with a lot, and we understand that, and we think that the issue isn't cap and fill Gadsden Creek. The issue is to learn to live with Gadsden Creek and also enjoy that as a resource for that community.
So the lawsuit, it only puts on pause the permit to fill Gadsden Creek. Leaders tell me in the meantime, they can take other steps to try to rectify this flooding that is happening downtown. And as far as that legal battle goes, a court date has not yet been set.
That original fight came from Dorchester County Council approving a zoning change that could put a potential gas station here on the corner of Cook's Crossroads. But since then, a conservation society has started another battle.
The first thing out of the box comes a gas station, and that's not what's envisioned for this area.
Litigation to save the vision. The Dorchester Trust Foundation is suing Dorchester County over their decision to zone this area for a gas station or convenience store at Cook's Crossroads.
We want to see a future that's positive in development that capitalizes on all this abundance of resources that's available for citizens in the future.
Chairman of the Dorchester Trust Foundation, George W. McDaniel, says the biggest concern is Rosebrook Park, which his foundation owns. It sits across the street from the crossroads.
This canal behind me goes up to at the Asheville Road, Beach Hill Road, and it empties directly into the Asheville River. So any pollution from that gas station into this canal and then down into the river.
McDaniel says that pollution could be catastrophic to an area the county and his foundation have invested millions of dollars in, but for passersby, not adding a gas station could also be a huge inconvenience. One of the main concerns over people in favor of that station is that if it goes away, you may have to go a little out of your way to fill up your tank. So I took a ride to see where the closest gas stations were. The closest one in Charleston County is more than 20 miles away, while the next closest to the park is near Somerville on Dorchester Road, which takes you to here just a little further down the road where there are two gas stations just across from each other. It took me about 10 minutes to get here from the park, but for those preservationists, adding that extra ride could be worth it.
The people already love to come down this park and just walk, and with their grandparents or young kids or dogs or whatever, they love being out in the woods and just enjoying nature.
I reached out to the Dorchester County government for reactions to the lawsuit. A spokesperson said they could not comment.